Hello everybody, Benny H here. Today I'm in X-Plane 11 with the JarDesign A330. I'm going to be demonstrating today one of the most common issues that I have found with the A330, and that is the autopilot. So this happened to me when I first got the aircraft, and I've never flown an Airbus in X-Plane, so yeah, I've come from the Boeings. So it did get me at first, and I have looked it up. There are a lot of other people who are experiencing this issue who didn't seem to find a fix. I found a YouTube video on it, and somebody commented a fix to it, which was really helpful. So I want to put a video out. I'll put their name in the top left corner as well, just to shout them out. But what's it called? I'm gonna make a video on how to fix the autopilot. Today I'm going to be flying out of DCA, so I've got my flight plan all configured. Everything is how you would expect it. This is how it's set up, so perf and init pages are fully set up, flight plan set up, so just make sure that you have all those set up before you fly. For the init, I have a generated route, so I don't have to worry about that. My cost index is 30, which is probably just a good enough cost index for most of the time when you're flying. Make sure you have your cruise altitude set. Mine's 280. That's my route. Perf. Make sure you click V1, VR, and V2, and then it'll automatically set up the speeds for you. It'll automatically set most of these up except for takeoff shift, but you don't have to worry about that because it shouldn't affect performance. So make sure that you have everything set up, and I'm just going to be taking the runway. And I'll keep a keen eye on the PFD here. Make sure that you understand exactly what it's doing and why, because the issue with the autopilot is displayed on the PFD. So, alright, and now notice on the throttle, I'm going to turn the parking brake on for this. It goes smoothly at first, and then it hits these little detents. I'm going to turn that off so that I get off the alarms. But it hits these detents. Now that's important. There's CL, which is CLB, MCT, Flex, and Toga. Toga is for takeoff, and on here, after you take off, it should say LVR CLB, and you'll set that throttle lever from Toga to CL, and that's what controls the auto throttle. Otherwise, when you take off, it won't transition to auto throttle, which when you get to cruise means that it'll disconnect the autopilot constantly because it doesn't know what's going on. So now time to demonstrate.
Park brake off.
V1.
Rotate.
Ooh, bit of a late takeoff there, but that's okay.
Climb. Gear up. Flaps 0. Autopilot 1, cross check.
Too low.
Now I like to control the altitude myself.
0.
Now notice how it's not doing that, but there we go. Now that we've set it to the CL detent, Autopilot 1
cross-check.
will start to work. See, there's no issues on there. So when you get to about 1,000 feet or so, make sure to set that to CL, otherwise the autopilot will disconnect. However, it is now following our waypoints that we have in the FMC. There we go. It's going to follow the route. It should be all good. Well, that is basically my video on how the auto throttle controls your autopilot and the common issues on it. Other than that, Benny H out.